Y'all be fussing at me because I be coming on here talking about books that y'all should buy. But I really like introducing y'all to new books. So y'all just gonna have to be in the comments fussing at this point. What you want me to do about it? Y'all can't beat me. Hi friends, welcome back to Shelby in the Book Club. I am Shelby Monet, and in today's video, we're going to talk about some of my most anticipated reads for Q1 of 2026 by Black authors. I'm so excited. We got a decent little list here. So everything mentioned will be listed below in the underneath a bar. It is called the underneath a bar because it is underneath the video. Okay, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it for real this time. Okay, if you see me looking down, it is because I am looking at my iPad mini. This is my homegirl. Where I go, she go. Where she go, I go. Okay, got all my notes and stuff. I will be putting a picture of the book and the release date on the screen. And again, everything will be linked down below if you would like to pre-order. So first up, we have the Star Seekers. You guys have heard me talk about Nicole Glover a lot. I love her books. This is an addition to the A Murder in Magic series. They are not something that you necessarily have to read in order, but they are interconnected. So it says in the 1960s, the world has caught up in reaching beyond our planet and into the cosmos. It felt impossible, but there was nothing science, math, and magic couldn't make possible. The race to space was on, and the moon was what everyone had their eyes on, including Cynthia Rhodes, a brilliant arcane engineer at NASA's Ainsworth Research Labs. Talented in math and magic, she hosts a magical education show, a job she took mostly for a chance to regularly see the dashing Theodore Danner, a professor of arcane archaeology. She is also an amateur sleuth, something that has run in her family for generations. When a cursed museum curator nearly interrupts a broadcast of their show, Cynthia finds an eager sleuthing partner in Theo. Pairing up, they begin investigating strange behavior of the curator and a mysterious theft at the Arcane History Museum until one of Cynthia's own co-workers perishes right in front of her in a major lab accident that endangers Ainsworth's role in the space race. I think this is going to be really good. I haven't read a book by her that I didn't absolutely enjoy. I also feel like these are pretty decent to read with kids. They aren't technically YA, but I feel like they kind of bridge the gap between the two. I think the conductors and the undertakers are YA, but I don't think the rest of them are. Um, so, and I love historical fantasy. I want more historical fantasy all the time. So there's that. That comes out in January. Next, what's the actual date? I'm just saying in January. January 6th to be specific. Next, we have Fire, Sword, and Sea. This is by Vanessa Riley. Vanessa Riley also wrote Queen of Exiles and hold on, y'all will know her other book. Sister Mother Warrior and Island Queen. Those should sound familiar to y'all. I'll try to put them on the screen so that you can see them. But Fire, Sword, and Sea, this one, the real pirates of the Caribbean were black and women. Okay, from Vanessa Riley. Comes a sweeping immersive saga based on the life of legendary 17th century pirate Jacket de Delahaye. I have the other book about that person. I'm probably pronouncing that terribly wrong. So it says the Caribbean Sea, 1675. Jackie, we're just gonna call Jackie for short. I'm sorry, ancestor. Don't fuss at me. I just don't want to be butchering your name like that. Is the mixed race daughter of a wealthy tavern owner on the island of Tortuga. Instead of marriage, Jackie dreams of joining the seafarers. Same girl. And I used to play this video game called Spiritfarer. I had a boat. Okay, so In my mind, me and Jackie both is seafarers. But anyway, and smugglers whose tall mast ships cluster in the turquoise waters around Tortuga. She falls in love with a pirate, but when he returns to the sea, Jackie decides to make her own way. In Haiti, she becomes Jacques, a dock worker, earning the respect of those around her while hiding her gender. She discovers that secret identities are fairly common in the chaotic world of seafaring, which is full of outsiders and misfits. She forms a deep bond with Bahati, an African born woman who has escaped slavery and also distinguishes herself as a man to navigate the world. They join forces with Dirk de Wolf, a fearless adventurer who lives as a man at sea. As as Jackie falls in love with Lizoa de Urville, a beautiful courtesan who deals in secrets and sex, while others see their work clothes as a disguise. Okay. For the next 20 years, Jackie raised the Caribbean, making enemies and amassing a fortune in stolen gold. I think this is going to be a good time. I didn't get around to reading the other one. I have a copy of it, but I haven't read it yet. That comes out January 13th. Next, we have With Love from Harlem. This is the author that wrote The Queen of Sugar Hill. If you watched some of my most recent haul videos, you know that I bought a copy of that because I wanted to read it after, well, since I've read The Great Man. So this one, it says Harlem 1943. At just 23, Hazel Scott is a woman of fire, excuse me. You got to get these eyes checked, baby. A jazz prodigy, a glamorous film star, and a fierce advocate for civil rights. She's breaking barriers and refusing to play by the rules. Then Adam Clayton Powell Jr. walks into her life, Harlem's most electrifying preacher turned politician. Adam is as bold, unyielding as Hazel, charismatic, powerful, and married. If this is about to be another Harlem Rhapsody, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset. This comes out January 27th. If this is what this is gonna be like. This kicks off a decades-long relationship that propels them into the center of a political, cultural revolution. As Hazel Star rises, Adam takes the national stage in Congress, and the couple becomes the toast of the country. But when their affair turns into a marriage, behind the glamorous facade is a battlefield of ego, ambition, and sacrifice. Forced to choose between her music and her family, Hazel must decide what she's willing to lose and what she refuses to give up. Okay, all right. January 27th. Next, now this one I'm very excited about. I requested the arc and they didn't answer me, but it said it's The Seven Daughters of Dupree. This is a debut. This is by Nikisha Ellis Williams. It says, from the two-time Emmy Award-winning producer and host of Black and Published podcast comes a sweeping multi-generational epic following 7 generations of Dupree women as they navigate love, loss, and the unyielding ties of family in the tradition of homegoing and the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. Now, I am a little nervous when things get compared to homegoing because that wasn't my favorite book. Although I do like generational tales, I don't like when those generational tales don't seem to have an ending. And I think the purpose of homegoing is to show that like the progression from generation to generation is sometimes very minuscule, but it does hold a lot of might. So there was just like a lot of the same thing. It felt very repetitive. I do plan to reread Homegoing in a couple of more years, to just see like as I grow as a person, will my perspective of it change? So that's a little off-putting, but this otherwise sounds like a book made for me. So it says in 1995, It's 1995, and the 14-year-old Tati is determined to uncover the identity of her father. But her mother, Nadia, keeps her secrets close, while her grandmother, Gladys, remains silent about the family's past, including why she left Land's End, Alabama in 1953. As Tati digs deeper, she uncovers a legacy of family secrets, where every generation of Dupree women has posed more questions than answers. Right up my alley. I mean, to a T. It's for me. And that one comes out, let's see, January 27th as well. Good time. Next is another retelling of, or at least I was told it was another retelling of The Great Gatsby. Yes, it's a reimagining of The Great Gatsby. Okay, I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, I know I didn't make that up. The Great Disillusionment of Nick and Jay. 17-year-old Nick Carrington wants nothing more than to leave Greenwood, Oklahoma behind and make a name for himself in the papers. But when tragedy strikes, dreams turn into a twisted reality, forced to start anew in Harlem. Only a letter of acceptance from the prestigious West Egg Academy is able to pull him back into the world. But the supposedly integrated private boys' school is more of a catchy headline than a fact. And with the same prejudices Nick left behind back home, and his secret but growing feelings for the founder's wickedly charismatic son, Jay Gatsby Jr., who dances past society's conventions with practiced ease, only add more complication. When Nick's cutting pen exposes dangerous truths about West Egg and leads to perilous consequences, he and Jay must decide whether to spend a lifetime outrunning trouble or to be the ones to light the match. Can they not only fight back but triumph, or will the powers that be win yet again? That sounds very interesting. It is a YA, and I do have the advanced audiobook for that. So I think I'm going to listen to it closer to the release day and post a review for it. Next, something else, I've had my eye on this since it was announced. This is Burn Down Master's House. Honestly, that's all I need to hear. Burn it to a crisp. Here, that's all I need to know. But this is by Clay Kane. This is another debut. And it says, a turmoil simmers within a divided nation. Smoke from another blaze begins to rise. Sparked by individual acts of resistance among those enslaved across the American South, their seemingly disparate. The words are fighting back. Rebellions fuel a singular inferno of justice, connecting them in ways quiet at times, explosive at others. As these flames rise, so will they. Luke, quick-witted and perceptive, and Henry, a man of strong and defiant spirit, forge an unbreakable bond at Virginia plantation called Magnolia Row. Both seek escape from unimaginable cruelty, and sure as the fires of hell, Luke and Henry will leave their mark among the lives they touch, like Josephine, a young, observant girl who wields silence as her greatest weapon. A witness to Luke and Henry's resilience, she listens, watches, and waits. Then there's Charity Butler, inspired by a formerly enslaved man who found his freedom fighting alongside Josephine. At his encouragement, Charity rises up for her life and family, only to face a deeply unjust system. And finally, there is Nathaniel, who ruthlessly exploits other black people and mirrors the cruelty of the white men who, like him, are enslavers. A perversion of the system of slavery. His rule is both fragile and contradictory. Burn Down Master's House is a singular tour de force of a novel breathtaking in scope, compassion, and timelessness that speaks powerfully to our present era. I want it all. January 27th couldn't come faster. I need it immediately. Next, we have If I Ruled the World. This is by Amy DuBois Barnett. That name may sound familiar to you. This one is a fast-paced, juicy debut novel that peeks behind the curtain at the cutthroat world of hip-hop music and the glamorous magazine scene in the late 1990s, written by the Ultimate Insider. It's 1999, and Nikki Rose is the only black editor on the staff of a prestigious fashion magazine. She once thought would be her ticket to becoming a respected editor in chief. But after being told one too many times by her boss that black girls don't sell magazines, black girls sell everything. I'm sure most of the stuff that you got on your body right now is because a black girl had it on first. Um, she quits to take over Sugar, a struggling hip hop music and lifestyle magazine with untapped potential. Thrown into an entirely new world of wealth, decadence, and debauchery, Nikki has just 6 months to save Sugar and her own dreams. As she pulls all nighters at the office and parties with New York City's most influential bad boys, Nikki must prove she has what it takes to lead. But her most dangerous challenge is evading Alonzo Griffin, her very married, very powerful ex lover and former boss, who is determined to destroy both her and Sugar. This is giving me like Tia Williams vibes, so I'm very excited about it. This comes out January 27th. I guess on January 27th, I should just slide my money over. This next one is a book club pick for 2026. I have not announced them to you all publicly yet, but if you are in the book club, you know this already. Side note, just join the book club. If you join the book club, you can get all the information early. Keeper of Lost Children by Sadiqa Johnson. I love everything Sadiqa Johnson writes. She is a phenomenally kind woman. She's a magnificent writer. I so excited about this. So it says Ethel Gathers, the proud wife of an American officer, is living in occupied Germany in the 1950s. After discovering a local orphanage filled with the abandoned mixed race children of German women and Black American GIs, Ethel feels compelled to help find these children homes. Philadelphia born Ozzie Phillips volunteers for the recently desegregated army in 1948, eager to make his mark in the world while serving in Mannheim, Germany. He meets a local woman, Jelka, and the two embark on a relationship that will impact their lives forever. In 1965 Maryland, Sophia Clark is given an opportunity to attend a prestigious all-white boarding school and escape her heartless parents. While at school, she discovers a secret that upends her world and sends her on a quest to unravel her own identity. Toggling between the lives of these three individuals, Keeper of Lost Children explores how one woman's vision will change the story of countless lives and determines that love in its myriad of forms, familial, parental, and forbidden, even love of self, can be transcendent. I cannot wait to read this. She has an amazing way of finding history that is not often spoken about and telling the story in a way that is tangible for everybody, and I love that. This comes out February 10th, and again, if it sounds interesting to you, shameless plug, we will be reading it for the podcast. For the podcast. Jesus Christ, for the book club. You know what I'm trying to say. Jesus is Lord. Next. I don't know about y'all, but I love Tayari Jones. I've read all of her books, and this will be next. Ken comes out February 24th. Don't Talk to Me, from February 24th to probably about the 26th, because I will be reading. So it says I can read, I do it for fun. Vernice and Annie, two motherless daughters raised in Honeysuckle, Louisiana, have been best friends and neighbors since earliest childhood, but are fated to live starkly different lives. Raised by a fierce aunt determined to give her a stable home in the wake of her mother's death, Vernice leaves Honeysuckle at 18 for Spelman College, where she joins a sisterhood of powerfully connected Black women and discovers a world of affluence, manners, aspiration, and inequality. Annie, abandoned by her mother as a child and fixated on the idea of finding her and filling the bottomless hole left by her absence, sets off on a journey that will take her into a world of peril and adversity, as well as love and adventure, culminating a battle for her life. A novel about mothers and daughters, friendship and sisterhood, and the complexities of being a woman in the American South. Ken is an exuberant, emotionally rich, unforgettable work from one of the brightest and most irresistible voices in contemporary fiction. This is going to be a time. This is going to be a time, because this is the kind of friendship that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about when you and your friends are living starkly different lives especially in that formative time. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be so good. That comes out February 24th. Again, don't bother me on February 24th. Next, we have You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mother, a modern gothic horror. Honestly, I put this on the list solely because of the title, because you probably should have been nicer to my mother. And my favorite animal is the one that I turn into when my mother is being made upset or uncomfortable. When Poppy Roman, the patriarch of the wealthy Abaru family, dies, he gives the family one last message in the will. One of you is Elbaka, the demon that I made a deal with. Get rid of them or you will be damned. What? Zamora, baby. Can they send me the arc for this? I have to wait until March to figure out what all in the hell. Zamora, the uncontested favorite of Poppy Roman and therefore the least liked in the family, watches as everyone dismisses this as a joke of a senile old man, and demands the lawyer obtain the previous will Poppy wrote. While the lawyer drives back to his office, a storm breaks out, forcing the entire family, Zamora's aunts and uncles and cousins, to remain in the house. In the words of Poppy's, will hang over their heads even heavier than the rain clouds. Over the course of the night, scandal after scandal is revealed to the public about the family. Suddenly, a tense few hours of surviving her family turns into a vicious night of recrimination, violence, accusations, and murder. Zamora is faced with the impossible task: uproot a demon and somehow kill it, or exorcise the ghosts that linger within her own family. Baby, you probably gonna have to get rid of the whole family and start fresh, cousin. That sound like it's gonna be a good time. This comes out March 10th. I don't know that I have it in me to wait until March. I'm gonna have to email somebody about that. Okay, so the next two, we have The Art of Loving You by Natasha Bishop. This says Danny Jenkins is a boss, a model turned influencer. She doesn't have time for taking a risk on romance. She prefers to keep things casual, but when her mentor Tanya dies, she is brought face to face with the man who broke her heart. Artist Micah Wright is a protector who loves fiercely. He's known as the man everyone can count on, but he's never forgiven himself for letting down the woman he loves. With Tanya's dying wish forcing Danny and Micah back together to complete a scavenger hunt road trip, Micah sees a second chance for them to get things right. This time heal all wounds. This sounds good. I'm excited to read something else from Natasha Bishop because y'all know how I feel about Rome. Rome was my first ever book boyfriend. And Only for the Weak was like one of the romances that got me back into reading Black romance, specifically Black indie romance. It was such a good time. So I'm really excited about that. And then last but certainly not least, another one that will be a book club pick because we read the entire series over the last 2 years. We read Curvy Girl Summer and we read Plus Size Player. So of course we're going to read Big Girl Blitz by Danielle Allen. This tells the story of Jasmine Payne. She is the final friend. She fled her hometown and the fat phobes who made her life hell the minute she graduated high school. Growing up, her heaven was her Aunt Addison, and when her health takes a drastic turn, she insists that Jazz should spice up her life, emphasize on the spice. But dating is the last thing Jazz had on her mind until Lamar Anderson sits next to her at a local sports bar. I think it's gonna be a good time. I love Danielle Allen, and I feel like the current series has progressively gotten better from book to book. So I think like this one, I have high hopes for this one. If you plan to read any of these, let me know down below. If you know of any books that are coming out by Black authors Q1 that I didn't mention in this video or that you haven't seen anyone talking about, please leave them in the comments. We are always looking for new books around here. And without further ado, if no one has told you today, I love you. You are kind. You are smart. You are important. If to no one else, to me. Bye, friends.